Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn about user input using Java. All code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Put in Java. So user input in Java means user input in Java. What happened? Means how we can take user input from the client, right? Okay, using a Java program, right? So to take an user input, first we had there's two processes how we can take an user input. Client will give that input, and so there's two processes to take an user input. Okay, so first one is using buffered reader. Okay, so buffered reader is a class. Using that we can take an user input. So that was in Java 1.4 version. Java 1.4 till 1.4 we are using that one only. Okay, and from Java 1.5 version, Java 1.5 version, we got another one component called scanner class. Scanner class to take user input in Java. Now we should know both how to take user input in Java. So buffer reader approach as well as scanner approach. Both the approach you should know. And we should know the difference also. Earlier we were using buffer reader to take an user input. Now I'm using scanner to take an user input. So the difference, what is the difference? Why I'll go for scanner? What is the advantage of scanner above buffer reader, right? So let's try to understand the complete things one by one. Let's move with this. So first we'll talk about using buffer reader, how I can take user input. So to take user input in buffer reader, what you have to do, I'm just writing some code, just see here. Buffered reader RD equal to new buffered reader new input stream reader system dot in. I've written lots of things here. Lots of things is written here. I'll tell you the meaning, everything. Okay, so I'm using this buffer reader approach. How we can take user input using buffer reader. Control C. Fine. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm just let me write 3 lines of code. Then I'm talking about it. As for example, I'm using system.out.println. Enter your name. Fine. So we are using like rd.readline, rd.readline. Fine. Then string name. Then you are printing dot out dot println my name is plus name. I've just written some syntax, and here in this syntax I'm going to take user input from the client. Using this, it is going to work fine. Now see what is the meaning of this. Let's understand. Now let me talk about some other point here. Other point in the sense that when we exchange data, how we can exchange data from one application to another application, or from one system to another system, or through internet. How we can exchange data. So if you think about it, how I am going to exchange data, whether it is CSV, audio, video, text, PDF, PPT, zip file, how I'm going to exchange the data between two systems. So there is two format how I can exchange the data, two scenario. One is called character format. Another is called binary format. This is the two format how I can exchange data. Wherever you go to complete Java, there is another one component called Java file. I'm not talking file in depth now. Just I'm coming as a layman's language to the actual concept. How I'm going to exchange data between two systems, right? So there is two format how I can exchange data. One is character format. Another is binary format. Binary, as you know, 0101 that. Okay. So this if I want to exchange the data in character format, then how Java using Java, how to identify that this data is in character format? Again, I'm saying if I'm going to exchange the data in character format, then in Java we have been given some classes called reader and writer. You'll find some classes in Java file or any class. If you find the name called reader or writer, any class throughout the complete Java package, complete Java API documentation, anywhere, if you find these two names, reader or writer, that means those classes always deal with character type data. Anywhere in any file, any location in Java, if you find these two names, reader or writer, these two name predefined name inside any of the inbuilt classes in Java, that means those classes always deal with character type data. Fine. Okay. Now we have some classes to deal with binary type data. We have some classes called stream. In anywhere, complete Java API documentation, go to complete Java API documentation, and anywhere if you find this name called stream in any class, okay, and that means those classes will deal with binary type data like input stream reader, right? Then piped input stream, piped output stream. Like this way, lots of classes you'll find in Java file. Now, this topic is not Java file, so I'm not going into that. Okay, so there is two types of data. So to handle character types of data, we have these classes. To handle binary types of data, we have these classes. The stream. This name you will find a stream. Okay, fine. So now here you'll find that. Now if you see, I've just written one statement, buffered reader. When I say buffered reader, see the name is the reader. That means what? This class is responsible to deal with character type data. Fine. Okay. RD equal to new buffered reader, new input stream reader. So now in this example, if you see system.in, right? So what does it mean by this line? First of all, what is the system? Let me check what is the system. So let's come to this. The system is defined inside a lang package. So let's see what is this system. Let's come to the API documentation. We'll see what is the system inside a lang package. We go to the API documentation, and in API documentation, we'll see what is lang package. We should always open the API documentation in frame view. So okay, now I have to check what is the system, right? So let's see what is the system. We'll go down and select the lang package, and inside this lang package you'll find system. Let's see here, system. Let's see what is the system. System is a class. System is a class. Fine. Now what we have written here inside system.in. System.in. So what is this in? Check inside in system class in. In is an object of input stream. So input stream, right? So input stream means it will always deal with binary type data. Correct? So binary type data. So when I'm writing here system.in, then it will take the input as a binary format, because in is an object of input stream type. So system.in, it will take the data in binary format. So what happened here? Let's see here. This will deal with character type, and this will deal with binary type. Fine. Now we have another one class. Just see here, input stream reader. Now if you see this class, in this class both is there. Reader is there and stream is there. Both is there. Correct. So if you find any class that have both the name reader and stream, those type of class is responsible for conversion. Those type of class is responsible for conversion from character to binary or binary to character. Again, I'm saying, if you find any class, go to complete Java API documentation, any class, if you find this reader and stream, both is there inside the name. So this type of class is generally used for conversion purpose. Fine. So what it is doing here, now the input is coming in binary format. So that binary input is converted as a character type using this new input stream class. Binary input will convert in character type using this new input stream reader class. Fine. Okay. So that you're talking about here, right? Okay. Now here, this is the scenario. Now let's see how it is working. Let's see how it is working, right? Okay. So I have taken that input from here. So we have to write inside a class. Right inside a class, right? So class, write one class. Class input demo. Fine. I should write a main method inside this class. public static void main string args. Fine. Now inside this, we should close this. Fine. Now this is my file, right? Control C copy. Let me check it is running or not. Copy and take it here. Input demo, file save as input demo.java, input demo, input demo.java, right? Save it. Now we have to compile and run in the same location. See, I'm coming into that ID. Now here we'll come in the same path. CD, edit paste, Java C, input demo.java. Now we have to resolve this errors, like when you print something that is in a string, right? And when you execute this, it will throw some exception. So at the end of this main method, just write throws. Now we have not told anything about exception, right? I'll come into the exception part. So for the timing, just write throws exception at the end. I'll talk about everything about exception. So now save this file and try to execute. Now here it is not working because it cannot identify the buffered reader class. Actually, this buffered reader, input stream reader, these are defined inside a package called IO package. So this IO package is not by default available. What is the default package in Java? That is called lang package. But IO package is not default available. So we have to import that IO package. We have to import that IO package. Import java.io.start. We have to import that IO package. Fine. Now compile, right? And then if I'm going to run it, Java input demo. Now it is saying that enter your name. So Navin, and my name is Navin. So if you see in these examples, you can take the input from the user and it is printing that name, right? And that input I can take using buffer reader like this, right? Okay. Now, if you want to modify, I'm not modified, then you can do those modification. If you want to write the same code, it's fine. You can write the same code here. Control C. This is the code. This is the code. I'm using that. I can take user input using buffer reader. So now in this example, we have used name. Now take name, email, phone. Now the thing is that the problem, now this buffer reader is working fine. First time it came buffer reader only. First time till Java 1.4 version, we are using this buffer reader to take an user input only. Now what is the problem with this buffer reader? What is the problem with this buffer reader approach is that whatever the input you are going to take from the client, see, when you're using new buffer reader, new input stream reader system.in, right? Now whatever the input you are taking from the client, that input will always take it as a string type. And taking enter your name, right? Now that will come inside a string. Because this reader class has some method called readline. Readline is an inbuilt method. It is used to take the complete line. And whatever you are going to write, it's a string type, primitive like double, float, or character, or boolean, whatever you are going to write, take an input. Everything it will take as an input, as a string. That is the first problem of buffer reader. Limitation of buffered reader. Limitation, or the limitation of this approach using buffer reader. So first point, each input will come as string type. Each input I'm going to take from the client, that you have to take as a string only. You cannot use any specific data types. Whatever you take, it will take convert as a string. Second point is that in buffer reader approach, we have to manually convert binary type to character type. Just now I told you, right? So we have to convert binary to character. Correct? We have to convert binary to character. Fine. The third point is that in this approach we have to handle the exception, right? That means we have to handle. I will talk about exception in details. For the time being, I'm not saying exception. Just write through the exception. We have to handle exception. Fine. Okay. So this is the limitation of this buffer reader approach to take input, user input. So all these three limitation is resolved in the second approach that came from Java 1.5 version using a scanner class. Okay. So let's see how we can take user input in Java using scanner class. Okay. So we are talking about user input using scanner class. How we can take user input using a scanner class and related to that, right? So let's see how we can take an user input using a scanner. Let me write one program. I'm not using Notepad. I'm using IDE. Let's take an scanner class to take an user input. So create one class. Right click, new class. My class name is scanner demo. Fine. This is my main method. Finish. Now here, what we'll do is that scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. Now this is scanner is a part of util package. So first point you find is that scanner class is a part of util package, right? First point for a scanner, you can say first point name, or it is available from Java 1.5. Fine. Second point you can say about a scanner is that it is defined inside Java dot util.star package. Right. Third point or fourth point, just copy paste this limitations that is resolved here. Control C in case of a scanner. So each input will come as a string type. No, in case of a scanner, we can take the input based on a particular specific data type. So you can use like each input, uh, each input input can be accepted as the required data type. I'll show you how it is. We don't have to convert binary to character. We don't have to convert. So that the limitation of buffer reader that is resolved in case of scanner approach. Okay, and this scanner approach 2n. Now here another is that we don't have to handle any exception. We don't have to handle exception. So these are the advantage of using a scanner above buffer reader. So let's see how it is. That's why I use this program, right? So if you want me to write this program first in the notepad, then I'll come into this. Let's write it first here. Using this scanner, I'll take the input, right? So let's see how I'm going to take the input. System.out.println. Let me take one string first. Enter name. I'll take this name. Now the thing is that when I'm going to take this name, this scanner will provide some inbuilt method. By using that, I can take specific data type, how it is. I'll show you these methods, how it will come. Just see here. I'll show you this. Enter the name, right? So when you write like this, here you'll find sc dot. See, some inbuilt method is there inside the scanner. What are the methods are there? Next is going to return a string. Then you have next int is going to take int. Next double is going to take double. Next float is going to take float. What type of input you are going to take, right? So based on that, it will take next int, right? So just see here what I'm going to take. A string. So for a string, what is the method? Let's see once again. For a string, what is the method? Next is returning a string, right? So you can write sc dot next, sc dot next, and this sc dot next will have string s1 equal to sc dot next. Okay. So I'll take it inside in a string. So now when you have taken this inside in a string, then you have to print system.out.println. print ln and just write here name, this one, print it, right? See inside notepad how it look like, right? So it is working, right? So the thing is that I'm taking a string as an input. Here I'm taking a string as an input. Here I'm going to take a string as an input, right? Right? Okay. Now I told you that any specific data types I can take. Now take enter marks. Enter marks. So marks will come as a double or int. So to enter marks, don't have to write once again. You have to use one of the inbuilt method called next int, and it is going to return int. Fine. So you can write int m. So the input parameter that will come from the client, that will come as an, it will come inside m. So marks is m. Find as m. Fine, done, right? So you can save this file, save. Print it. I'll do it like this multiple times. Fine. Fine. Just save this. Right click, run as Java application. So enter your name, toss, enter marks 100. So if you see, I'm taking the input from the user, right? Using a scanner. Now, if you see this approach, scanner approach, first point is that I have taken here int, right? So we can accept all the individual data types using a scanner. That is one of the advantage. Second point is that I'm not going to handle any exception, right? I'm not going to handle any exception here, right? Third point is that I don't have to convert that buffer input. Input is coming as a binary format. And that one I'm going to convert into character format using some classes that have the name called binary reader and stream. So those type of conversion I'm not going to. It will take care of implicitly, right? Right. So it's working fine. So I've given here only for int. Similarly, you can do for double, character, boolean, or right. Okay. So this is all about scanner. All about a scanner. Now the thing is that what are the different methods are there, how to use them. Then you have to go to the API documentation and see how to use different methods that is a part of a scanner, right? So this is all about scanner and buffer reader that is used to take user input in Java